What's up, everybody? I'm Briggs, and like always, welcome back to All Day Anime. And today we're doing the biggest flexes in anime, or debating the biggest flexes in anime, number 5, with my boy, Nuxy Boy,
Hello.
and the spookiest man alive, 2Spookster. What's up, bro?
Oh, so happy to be here and so glad to be the absolute spookiest of all time.
Yeah,
No negativity here.
no negativity, only on Discord.
Shh.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. Let's just move on to the bracket royale. In the first round, we got Natsu versus Air Gear. I feel like since it's Fairy Tail and an anime I haven't seen, I think we gotta let Nux take it away. However, before we begin, today's video is sponsored by Aurora Legends, known as an AFK RPG. Aurora is a fantasy world where you will become the captain of hundreds of awesome heroes that you recruit from the good old tavern. Hell yeah. This game's got anime girls? Oh wait, we got ourselves another Felix. But don't worry, it's got more 2D girls than you can count. These heroes will coordinate their powers at your desire, and that's my favorite thing about this game. It has a large focus on strategy to lead your party to victory. Aurora Legends launches its EU server August 30th. You can follow the official Facebook account, which will be linked down below in the description. This is where they post game updates and host events where you could win in-game prizes. Also located down below is the link to this completely free and fun game, available on both iOS and Android. Not only would you be downloading a great game, but you would also be helping my channel out in the process, and I really do appreciate it. More from the sponsor at the end of the video, but for now, let's jump back into it. I feel like since it's Fairy Tail and an anime I haven't seen, I think we gotta let Nux take it away.
Yeah, during that portion, I watched up to a certain point, and then Nux was like, "Oh yeah, there's gonna be a lot of spoilers right here." So I'm like, "Oh, I'm still watching," so I just like gotta click the side of the screen multiple times, skip ahead.
I literally have the memory of of a fish. I watched the video when it came out, and then today, like obviously to prep for this stream, I'm like, okay, I'll watch this video again. And then like right before the stream, I'm like, wait, Air Gear was a flex? What happened with that? Like, when did that happen?
Yeah, good times. I'm glad that my videos are very memorable. But in any case,
I'm just a Chad.
yeah, apparently Chads come with like mental disabilities or something. But in any case, unfortunately, neither of you have seen Natsu, or have seen Fairy Tail or Air Gear. So,
Correction,
Air
I've
Gear-
seen Fairy Tail, just not the point that you talked about. But you did talk about it, and it seemed like a pretty huge flex.
Yeah.
It was a massive flex.
I'm at about episode 120, so I got a little while to go.
Yeah, you have a little while to go. But if you're at 120, you must be enjoying it, sort of.
I like it. I would definitely say it's enjoyable, but I have to turn my brain off a lot of the time.
Yo, Spooks, did we both stop watching at the exact same point? I stopped at 122.
I'm still watching it. I haven't like dropped it or anything. That's just where I happen to be.
Yeah, same. I stopped watching. I'm still watching like as of like 7 years ago, right? I'll get there eventually.
Yeah, I'm not quite at the Grand Magic Games, so I watched you talk about Natsu walk up and flex on everybody, and then you're like, "All right, boys, we're getting into some real spoilers." So I was like, "Okay, all right, so let us hear it, Nux. What's going on?"
So I don't want to spoil it for you, Lord Spookster, but unfortunately, I'll just go as far as I need to go in regards to Natsu versus Air Gear. Air Gear is all about rollerblading, and I have not actually seen the entire anime. I've only seen clips that people showed me to like let me know how big of a flex it is that this dude is rolling around with the rollerblades on his head, and everyone's like, "Nani? He's rolling around with the rollerblades on his head, even better than we can use it with our feet." And he's like, "Yes, of course I can. Not at all because I'm a massive dick." Yeah, so that was a big flex, but it doesn't compare to Natsu chucking Gajil off a cliff because he wanted to have the honor of fighting two opponents single-handedly instead of with a team.
And then 1v2ing, and those opponents came in first, while the Fairy Tail Guild came in second, right, in like the preliminaries.
Yeah.
That's a huge
Those
flex.
guys were flexing on Fairy Tail for the entire arc until that point. Because, like, Natsu and Gajil are first-generation Dragon Slayers. In other words, they were raised by dragons. Now, they're second-generation Dragon Slayers that weren't raised by dragons, but have, like, a dragon orb, a lacrima within them that gives them Dragon Slayer power. Third-generation Dragon Slayers are both raised by dragons and have a magic lacrima thingo inside them. So they were like flexing on everyone, saying, "You first generation Dragon Slayers don't stand a chance against us." And then
Freaking
Natsu
boomers.
like obliterates them.
And like the fact that I love the way you worded it in your video, where you said like, like obviously Goku needs to get beaten up before he goes and beats his opponent. In this case, Natsu let himself get beat up so he could test the strength of his opponent. That's a huge flex.
And then he chucks his teammate off a cliff, and then he annihilates him.
Wow.
And he doesn't even use his strongest attacks. Like he has lightning Dragon Slayer magic at that point as well. And he like screws all that. He just fire punches them and annihilates their faces. And they come up with all these crazy combos. They're like, and now our continent's destroying attack. And that's just like,
Please. Natsu's planetary low diff. Low balling.
Watch out, Goku.
Watch out. Anyway, guys, Natsu's clearly advancing, right?
Yeah. I think I have to go with my hashtag 2Spooky bias here and go with Natsu for sure, because Air Gear is not Jet Set Radio. And if you get that reference, you're a real one. That's as far as I'll say.
I don't get it. I guess I'm not a real one. Next
Yeah,
round.
Next round, Armstrong. Alex Louis Armstrong, is that correct?
Alexander Louis Armstrong.
Yeah, that's clearly the way it needs to be pronounced, 100%. I apologize for my cultural appropriation.
Okay, there you go. Now pronounce the second who's fighting.
Oh no. What the fuck is that?
I've never been able to say it correctly either. I have tried.
Apollo Grants.
Xayalaparo Grants.
Mad lad. Armstrong, though, is
I did a whole Kuretsuchi voice thing in my latest flex video, so that's pretty cool.
Not only does he flex with his abilities, he is like permanently actually flexing, though, Armstrong. Like turning his rocks, or I guess whatever his projectile alchemy into statues of himself flexes on his opponent. But what I love even more is when he turns like his opponent's weapons into statues of himself. That's a huge fucking flex.
His opponent has like this massive hammer thing and just whacks him and then looks at the hammer and it's just a sculpture of Armstrong flexing.
I remember when he was fighting a guy with a cannon, he turned the cannon into a sculpture of himself.
But of course.
Clearly.
And I love how even in the first episode of Furumeto the Alchemist, like when this massive ice tsunami is attacking him, and as it's running towards him, and Ed and Al are running away from it, they say, "Major, we're leaving it to you." And as the ice tsunami is coming towards Armstrong, he just faces it and stares it down and says, "Well, it seems that you've underestimated." He's talking to this like icicle. "You've underestimated the Armstrong lines." And he just punches it and shatters the whole thing.
Wow. So what's up with Grants?
And Xayalaparo Grants from Bleach. To be honest, I didn't want to say this until today, but I mostly included him in Biggest Flexes 5 so that I could talk about the epic flex of Kurotsuchi in Biggest Flexes.
That one is amazing. That flex. That flex is perfection. Actually, it's not perfection because Kurotsuchi doesn't believe in perfection, but it's as close as humanly possible.
Even if perfection would exist, it would be tragic.
So Espada Boy's flex was basically just like, "Oh, hey, I let you guys get my organs just so I could show you I have more."
And not only that, but
right?
I understand I was fighting with you for the last like 5 episodes, but I also happen to have voodoo dolls that I could just crush its organs and you die. But I just wanted to see like what you could do before trying that.
Yo, you see these beans? That's your liver. Crack.
Yeah, bad vibes.
So I'm gonna be biased here and vote for Armstrong because he's one of my favorite characters. And like the fact, like obviously he flexes with his alchemy, but he also just flexes in everything he does. Like he just rips off his shirt and just flexes to give you a fucking hug. Or
No, it's amazing. It's like you have Edward in bed. Like he can't move a muscle because like he's so sore and has like a million broken bones. And Armstrong comes in with flowers and says, "Look at these flowers, but now let me show you something even more beautiful." He just throws the flowers away, takes his shirt off.
Oh, that's good.
Armstrong is the kind of guy that would take off his shirt and flex if he's making pancakes, and that's enough for me to send him to the next round.
Yeah,
Hell
I
yeah.
know. I love Xayalaparo Grants' flexes, mostly because it makes me appreciate Kurotsuchi's later. But I'm going to have to give this one to Alex as well.
Hell yeah. All right, so we had Natsu and Armstrong advance to the next round. And in the next matchup, we have Kaiba, the absolute mad lad, versus Ryder. No, wait. Didn't I change this matchup?
No,
Oh,
that's you got it.
I'm good with it. These are fantastic characters. I think Riders might actually be a bigger flex, but Kaiba's is fucking hilarious.
I know. Kaiba flies around in a blue eyes white jet, unironically.
Yeah.
I appreciate how in your video you mentioned how I have the 3 blue eyes, but I took the 4th one and I didn't
Ripped
do
it
anything
up.
about that.
That never happened.
Who has consequences?
Why would they only make 4?
Thanks, Pegasus.
Like, you would think it would be like in like sets of 3 at least. So like only make 3 or like 6, you know?
Well, that's why the world of Yu-Gi-Oh is kind of unrealistic in a way. Like, obviously, the hologram stuff is a little bit much already, but you got to think, if this were a real, believable world, that company would be capitalizing so hard on the card game, right? Like, they would make so many different copies of everything just so everyone would give them their money.
I have thought of this, but I do think that Pegasus, when he designed the game and when he came up with certain amounts of cards, he based all of it off of what he saw in like the ancient Egyptian tombs and shiz.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He understood that this was all based off like this fated game that would take place like 3,000 years later.
I think Yu-Gi-Oh messed up in our world. They should have done something similar where like they made so many different cards. Like they had to make a lot of different cards. But then they should sell like a limited amount of them. Like obviously you can't just do like 4 blue eyes, but like do like 200 blue eyes, you know? And like
we have like 12 variations of each one.
Yeah, exactly. Like a bunch of variations and make everyone's deck different. Because then what ends up happening is everyone just copies the best decks, and people are literally looking up or like solid decks to use in like certain situations and stuff. And I think it's cool that like in Yu-Gi-Oh everyone has different cards.
Yeah, Exodia's float in the ocean somewhere.
Yeah, fucking rip.
Yeah, rip.
But Ryder.
Poor Yugi's grandpa's blue eyes. Rip.
I'm sorry, but Ryder's flex is bigger. Like.
All right, so yeah, as much as you want to praise Kaiba's blue eyes white jet and how he's maniacally laughing as he flies around, I have to say, I think Ryder beats him in every sense of the word.
Like, not only does he flex by showing off his noble phantasm, which is literally like you're not supposed to do that to 2 of your opponents. It's like showing your trump card like before the match. Stupid, but a flex because it's like that's how confident he is in his noble phantasm. But by doing this, he also flexes on the other Gilgamesh and Saber's ideals on what it means to be a king. Like it was a double flex.
I know. And I talked about that Ione and Itaire moment for like a while in my biggest flexes 5. And then I realized, wait a second. I was focusing so much on this flex, I forgot about all the other flexing he's done in the entire series. Are you forgetting that right when the fight started, you had Gilgamesh, first you had Saber fighting Lancer, mano a mano.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
And then all of a sudden, Gilgamesh shows up on top of a lamppost saying, "Kneel before me, you mongrels." And then he gets attacked by Berserker. And Berserker is right now in middle of the fray while he's fighting Gilgamesh. Saber and Lancer are both like injured and tired, and they don't know what's happening. And in this massive ox chariot, which was, by the way, made by Zeus, in comes Ryder. He just steamrolls Berserker, and then he gets up and says, "You there, you 3, Gilgamesh, Saber, Lancer, I like all of you. I think you should join my army." It's like, screw all you guys. Join me in my conquest.
That's amazing. Truly the conqueror. Also, but his noble phantasm is like crazy. Everyone gets transported to another world or like a fake realm or whatever, and it's just this huge desert. And behind him, like obviously it's a flex that he leads his army, but the fact that he has a fucking army behind him and that's like his noble phantasm is amazing.
And the screen, it just like zooms out with his wide smile. It's like you have infinite troops behind him.
One of the most charismatic characters in all of that, in all of anime.
It was funny when Waver is talking to him about the Grail, and Waver says to him like, what do you want when you get the Grail? He says, I don't care about getting the Grail. I don't care about what I do with the Grail. Right now, I want to conquer it. I want to get the Grail. It's like, what are you going to do with it? I don't know. Who cares? And he says, well, what do you want to do, Waver? Waver says, well, I was thinking that I can use it to become much more popular. And he says, become much more popular? A better wish would have been to grow 30 more centimeters.
Oh man, I love that about him though as well. Like sometimes it's just more fun to like do the challenge than the reward itself. You know?
Yeah, I
And
agree
he's
to
like
that.
looking on TV and he sees these B-2 stealth planes. And he's like, I want one of these, but unfortunately we don't have the funds. We must pillage a village in order to get the necessary requirements. Like, but unfortunately, and then he changes the channel to like a picture of the president of the United States. This Clinton guy will be a problem. Like,
Oh, that's amazing.
So I
All
must say
right.
I'm a little bit on the fence here because Ryder definitely sounds like the bigger flexer, right? But
if you say
obviously,
sounds like, does that mean you didn't watch Fate Zero?
I was just about to say, too spooky hasn't seen this anime. Oh, shocker! Who would have guessed?
No!
Who would have freaking guessed, right? But knowing Kaiba and all he's done throughout the series, right? I know that he is a master flexer. I don't think we can argue that, right? But
That's
I
true.
want to ask for clarification: are we just talking about just the specific Blue Eyes White Dragon jet, or are we talking about Kaiba's flexes as a whole?
We
Because
could
that
talk
will
about
be
other
my
flexes if you
Kaiba's
have.
flexes as a whole.
Oh,
Him
well, I-
tributing Obelisk to summon Blue Eyes to attack Ishizu is a massive flex.
Yeah.
It's like,
He-
oh,
he-
you like this god card right here? I tribute it for a better servant. The
This man-
Blue Eyes.
This man put his life on the line to win a duel.
This
wanna throw that
man
out there.
somehow managed to buy a coat where the, I don't know, sticks up behind him to make him look more badass and like he's always in the wind.
This man has a card named after himself.
He did. And
Kaiba
Kaiba Man
Man.
is a crappy card.
Yeah, yikes.
Yeah. Kaiba sacrificed God.
I can sense the freaking bias just flowing through my veins right now, and it's really uncomfortable.
It's hard because Ryder is on another level as well.
Yeah, Kaiba does have some epic flexes. Like,
I'm
let's
trying
not
to
get it-
think. I mean,
But it
Yu-Gi-Oh
doesn't
is just flexing
compare.
on your opponent constantly, really, when you think about it. It's just like, huh? You thought you had the upper hand? Clearly, you're delusional. Activate trap card, reverse the entire game, summon this monster, get fucked. Like,
This guy managed to fuse a dragon with mirror force.
You guys ever realize that Blue Eyes White Dragon isn't actually white? It's like light blue.
Yes, I did notice.
yeah.
What the heck is that?
I'm a
It's
blue
funny,
eyes white
the
dragon,
the
while you're
first
just
time I
dark
watched,
magician.
the first time I watched Yu-Gi-Oh, I actually watched it French dub. So like, whenever he would summon Les Dragons Blancs, yeux bleus, and like in the beginning I was like, what is it? The eyes that are blue? Because like my French is not the greatest on the planet. But like this is when I was like really little, that I had no idea like if it's the eyes that were supposed to be white or if the dragon's supposed to be white, because they're both blue. But then I figured it out. But the
This is
French
really
dub is actually amazing.
Is it?
Yeah, it's great.
Anyway, guys, I'm gonna vote. It's a tough one. It really is, but I'm gonna vote for Ryder here.
Yeah, I have to vote for Ryder.
I guess I'll just vote for my man Kaiba.
This
though it doesn't
wine is like your blood. Come, join us. And then they knock over the wine. As I said, this wine is like your blood. So if you want it spilled, then so be it.
Wow. I have goosebumps. You should just be a voice actor, Nux.
Oh, my
Get Dog VA to hook you up.
Yeah, right.
Maybe. All right, in the final matchup of round 1, we have Gearless Joe versus the Generation of Miracles.
So I don't know. Have any of you seen Megalobox or Kuroko no Basket?
I have seen Nightmare Box,
No.
and I've seen the first season of Kuroko no Basket.
Spooky, you're a mad lad.
Sorry,
feel
he's
that.
the unbiased person in this round because I feel like I'm gonna be biased towards Gearless Joe. Nox is gonna be biased towards Gen of Miracles, and he's gonna be like the judge
I need some
with a blank palette, you know.
All right. So Megalobox is a story about Joe, who is this guy who was born into poverty and whatever, and he does like these underground boxing matches, but it's not normal boxing. No, it's anime boxing. So they have like these mini mechs to make their punches like way stronger.
It's
And,
so unnecessary because
completely.
actual punches are enough to kill someone and knock them out. Like they add like in boxing, you add like softer gloves so that like it's not as powerful.
So
Like,
here they're like, we're gonna keep the soft gloves, but we're gonna give you robot arms. Not cool. Anyway,
and just absolutely fuck up your opponent. Like
yeah, so unfortunately for Joe, he ends up making a living basically by getting hired by this one dude to lose fights. Like he's forced to make it interesting, but he has to always like lose in the third round or whatever. and it sucks. First of all, he always ends up getting beaten up, but which sucks, and it's not great for his pride either. But he ends up managing to get himself a potential ticket to get into the world stage. But to get into this actual world-class fighting thingo, unfortunately, he needs a name for himself, and he doesn't have one. So he gets this name for himself by flexing on Zawardo, by boxing without a mech. He is gearless Joe. Joe without the gear. And he is annihilating these opponents with these massive robot thingos. And it's amazing.
Yeah.
That is quite the flex. That is quite the flex.
All right. But I feel like Kuroko no Basket always flexes hard. Which one are you guys talking about here?
Well, I just described Megalobox.
I know. I was saying Kuroko no Basket always flexes hard. Like
Right.
I feel like it's gonna wreck
the generation of miracles in general, because everyone has individual flexes. Like I mentioned Akashi in my previous video, like he makes people trip and stuff. But the thing is, when the generation of miracles is together, they always, before the game, they also compete against each other. Like they know they're gonna win. That's not even like a doubt in their mind. And they go into the game saying, "All right, so we're gonna be playing against each other. Who could score the most points?" Right? And they'll be like trying to take the ball away from each other, like while they're playing their opponents.
Oh my god.
So that's a massive flex. Their opponents are like ants on the battlefield. They mean nothing. And their job is just, trying to take it away from each other in order to win, which is a huge flex.
That is hilarious.
But they actually were getting bored of even doing that. Like they knew each other's moves already. And
all right,
they basically decided, you know what? This time we're going to do something cool. And they don't tell you until after the game's over. But basically, they win the match 111-11. And the opponents are like, well, we actually scored a couple. And then they realize as they get close to the end that throughout the game, the Generation of Miracles was like giving away points to them. And also they were like purposely missing baskets. They were purposely not getting 3 points where they needed 2 or whatever, because they wanted to end the game where the scoreboard was all ones.
All right, it's done. I vote for Generation of Miracles.
All right, so I also vote for the Generation of Miracles.
I think not only is that a master flex, but it also doubles as huge dick moves in anime.
Oh yeah, massive.
I have to vote for it.
Yeah.
So when I play volleyball, we do this stupid thing that if you meg someone, so if you hit the ball through someone's legs, like on your own team when they're not paying attention, they have to do 10 push-ups. But we do not stop the game while the person's doing push-ups. So like, say I'm about to serve or like walking to go serve, I'll throw it through my brother's legs or something. He has to drop and do push-ups, and then I serve as quick as possible. So during the game, he's doing push-ups, and it's a flex on the person that you just megged, but also on the other team. Like we're doing push-ups and we're still winning.
Nice.
It's a pretty dick move, but like we've been doing this since like. Since we were young, it's like if you get megged, you gotta do 10 push-ups, no matter where.
This man is an absolute Chad, by the way.
But of course, Chad lads.
How did you actually get into watching anime? Like, it's not a Chad move.
What do you mean? So many anime characters are Chads. Just the people who watch them tend not to be Chads.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't get it. I don't know why more Chads don't watch anime.
Basically, you just have to come across 15 Dragon Ball characters.
I don't know.
As soon as that happens, you're an anime fan. It's just how it happens.
Who could name 15 Dragon Ball characters? They're all irrelevant. Except for like the main like
Goku, Goku Blue, Ultra Instinct Goku.
You can name just Goku 15 times.
That's true.
There
you
we
can.
go.
I think that's what it started off with. I started watching like, obviously when I was young, like Pokemon and stuff. Dude, I was a fucking nerd too though. Like I would, like, I don't know.
I mean, you have a One Piece hat behind you, so.
I do, but like when I was super young, Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Like, I was more into that than, like, sports. But, like, I also got really into sports as well.
This man is unbelievable and an inspiration to us all.
Clearly. All right. Let's move on. So, Gen of Miracles moved on to the next round. We got Natsu versus Armstrong. Passed down the Armstrong family for generations. All right.
So I'm fighting a losing battle here because I'm for sure going to go for Natsu because I think his flexes are of a higher magnitude entirely. But both of you have not seen the Grand Magic Aims and have seen Furumeter.
So I do love Armstrong's flex because it's fucking hilarious, but I feel like everything that we talked about in round one with Natsu, Like throwing Gajeel off, not using all of his power, letting them attack him, defeating them 2v1 is just a giant flex. And I did watch like the scene that you're talking about. Fuck. I'm so biased. I want to vote for Armstrong, but I don't think I can.
Like I really want to vote for Armstrong just because he is flex incarnate. Like that is his thing. He is a flexer, literally and figuratively.
Honestly, Nux, screw you guys. You and my editor Axel. I'm making a most badass females bracket, and I think I might have to have a fairy tale character go very
Hell
far,
yeah, Urza's a badass.
or much further. Like he just keeps on sending me clips, and I'm like, fuck. Like,
I love him.
like okay, maybe she might win, but I don't want to. All right.
Yo, Natsu, you know how Natsu finished off the Grand Magic Games? He wasn't in the final round. In the final round, Fairy Tail picked 5 guys, not Natsu included. They picked Urza, Loxus, Gray, Juvia, and Gajeel. Those are the 5, and it was a 5-on-5 basically. Well, and it was like this massive battle royale. 5 members of each guild in this huge battlefield where they were just like all killing each other off. It was a hell of a lot of fun. But Natsu was not there because while the Grand Magic Games was going on, Natsu was personally saving the world, like stopping dragons from invading the country.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think I gotta vote for Natsu, man.
Natsu also, before that whole Sabretooth fight, he ran into their guild because he was pissed off at them.
Mhm.
And you're not allowed to beat other contenders. You're not allowed to, like, attack other contenders in the tournament while the tournament's going on, obviously. So he says, don't worry, I won't. And he goes up to their master and beats the crap out of him.
Any repercussions? Like, any repercussions for... Was the master not in it? It was like...
No, the masters aren't allowed. It's
Oh,
only
okay,
the guild members.
fair
so
enough.
He had no problem. He
The
just
fact
goes
that you
in,
can beat
beats
up the
crap
master.
out of the master.
That's hilarious. All right, Natsu wins.
Thank you.
But...
I mean, I do want to acknowledge that that does sound like some master flexing. I don't want to, like, undercut that. But too biased over here's gotta go with the flexer, Armstrong himself.
It's true.
Even though it's a losing battle, I just had to throw it out there. I hate to do it. I hate to be that guy, but it just
Sometimes you need to be that guy. Like Kaiba deserved the vote. Like he didn't deserve to get 3-0'd. You know?
Yeah.
Same thing with
I'm
Armstrong.
sorry,
Well, anyway, respect Armstrong.
Yeah.
Your sister will do better.
Yeah, his sister is a flexer. All right, we got Ryder.
I'm so excited to talk about his sister in a future video. Do you remember the scene where she basically, some general said, well, Olivia, we respect you a lot, and we will make you one of, like, our chosen ones that will be immortal. And she's like, oh, yeah, thanks for telling me. And she, like, stabs him and then throws him into this vat of cement and say, you will be the foundation of our country. Literally.
I just saw that quote not too long ago again.
That was amazing.
All right, so we got Ryder versus the Generation of Miracles. And, like,
So
this is
this
another one, like,
Big one.
I love Ryder and I'm biased, but the Generation of Miracles, that's a fucking huge flex. Like, the fact that they were taking the ball off each other and, like, you are so inferior to us, we must be our own opponents during a game of basketball. That's wild. Plus, ending the score with 1-1-1, 1-1, that's huge.
And being just so good at the game that people literally don't play.
But also, I feel like Ryder's, like... is almost more like
I think
impactful.
Ryder's flex. He flexed on, the ideology of his opponents.
Yeah,
Not
that's what I'm saying.
just physically. Like, I mean, this flex was more of a flex on Saber, who was speechless entirely, than it was on Assassin, as he, completely annihilated Assassin.
Like at the end of the day, the Generation of Miracles, it's basketball. Like this is like lives on the line. You show off your noble phantasm just to flex on like the other person's ideals and what they think it means to be a king.
Yo, Saber saying, I am the king of knights. And Ryder saying, oh, you're a king. Amazing. You'll make a great subordinate. I don't know. That's amazing flexing.
Yo, you
I'm
have to
gonna go
include
with Ryder
Gilgamesh
on
in
this.
one too. King of
I
Kings.
definitely will be putting Gilgamesh in one of them. If the videos get enough likes.
Oh, it's Saber that's King of Kings and Gilgamesh that's King of Heroes, no? I can't
Gilgamesh is
remember.
king of heroes. Saber's the king of knights.
Oh,
And Iskandur is the king of conquerors.
King of Conquerors. Fair enough. All right, I'm actually gonna vote for Ryder. I changed my mind.
Thank you. Thank you. All
It's
right, and the moral of
entirely-
the story is, I guess, 2Spooky has to watch Fate Zero, one of the 5 best anime of all
Oh,
time.
Nux, you voted for Ryder as well?
I have to watch
Yes.
everything. This entire matchup, just the whole entire Flex matchup in general, has been very difficult this time around.
Yeah, it's a
Like,
lot
all
more
of them are great.
obscure characters for sure.
Except Air Gear and Mr. Espada over here. I feel like all of the Flexes have been top tier.
But
Well,
also,
I am curating the toppest of tier flexes.
wait until
Oh
part
my
6. Part
God.
6 is gonna be hard, and I feel like all of us have watched the series as well, so it's gonna be a hype episode.
Oh, part 6 is going to be brutal. I think I already know who my personal favorite is in part 6.
I have no idea. I just watched your video, and I'm just like, I don't know who I want to vote for.
Yeah, we have some good ones.
Yeah. Anyway, so that means in the finals we got Natsu versus Ryder. But I don't know what I want to do.
I'm voting for Natsu this time around.
I think I'm gonna vote for Ryder. I think I have to, man. I'll leave it up to
No.
leave it up to Nuxy
You're
boy.
leaving this on me.
Yeah.
No. Oh no.
Do the right thing.
All right.
Nuts.
So on the one hand, when Natsu skipped 7 years into the future, spoilers, and he then proceeded to annihilate a few guilds, and some guys said to him like, "We were training for the last 7 years. There's no way you're still stronger than us." And then he just lets loose a lightning fire blast and takes down an entire forest. And then the guy's like, "Okay, maybe you are still stronger." That was a pretty big flex. But I'm gonna definitely go with Ryder.
Hell yeah.
Ryder is one of my favorite anime characters of all time.
Same.
This man has more flex in his beard than Natsu does in his entire being.
I feel like I voted for the wrong answer every time, or in this case, the right answer every time. But I've been shafted, boys. Feels bad.
Natsu has some massive flexes, but
It's like, okay, yeah, I feel like Natsu's flexes are because he's powerful, while Ryder's flexes are because of his character, who he is as a person, his ideals, and because he's powerful.
Armstrong deserved better.
I didn't hear what you said.
Armstrong deserved better.
He did. But he's up against Mad Lads,
I
Yeah.
just cry every time.
Anyway, huge congrats to my man Ryder, Iskandar, the King of Conquerors. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. I want to say doing these every week with Spooks and Nux has been awesome. It's been a great experience. I love it. Can't wait for part 6. You guys have to smash a like on Nux video, which will be down below. I'm also going to put his Twitch because you got to start streaming, Nux.
it will happen one day. I guarantee it.
75,000 Twitch followers and he'll finally stream.
You just fucking flexed on me. You surpassed me in Twitch followers without even streaming, boy. That's
It'll
fucking...
happen. I'm telling you. One
Yeah.
day.
It better. If I have to come through with my promise, I promised 4 months ago that I'll do a 12-hour stream, which I'm currently planning, and I'm going to do a 12-hour stream. Everyone follow me on Twitch. Then you have to stream at least once.
One day.
You can stream for 30 minutes for all I care. Just fucking stream, boy.
Streams for 10 seconds.
It'll happen.
10 seconds, just him going on there
But
and
I will
saying,
not stream unless I already have 2,000 followers.
Make
Mad
sure to
lad.
comment below that we should make a Minecraft server with the boys.
Minecraft server with the boys. I'm also going to be linking 2Spooky's channel down below. Be sure to check him out. He makes quality content, puts so much time and effort into his videos, and it really shows. Be sure to check him out, boys.
And by the way, even in Iskandar's final moments, not going to spoil anything or anything, but he charges forward with a smile.
Yeah, don't even talk about it, but that's a good moment as well. He's clearly, let me think. Iskan D lore. All right, that's the end of the video.
Well, that's the end of the video. Shigure wins with a spoon. Subscribe and everything.
And I guess I'll see you all next time. Be sure to smash that like button. Bye.
Stay weird, fam.
Shinpaku. And that, my friends, is the end of this video. I do hope you enjoyed, and now I want to give a huge, gigantic thank you to Aurora Legends for sponsoring us today. I was literally playing the game while editing this video for you guys, since it's just so fun and easy to play while doing other things around the house or while commuting, for example. After all, it's an AFK RPG. You can literally play all day and even make progress while you are offline. But you can also get really into the game and competitive as well by fighting in the arena. Or if you're like me, I always had a ton of fun collecting different heroes. Again, both the link to their free game available on both iOS and Android and their Facebook page where you can win a bunch of cool prizes will be in the description down below. And now, I want to give a huge thank you to all my patrons and sponsors. Every single one of you guys makes me one step closer to turning this dream of doing YouTube full time into a reality. I'm graduating university in December, and I think I'm going to give this YouTube thing a shot. We're closing in on 100,000 subscribers, which is amazing, by the way. Thank you, everyone. You guys are awesome. But on that note, a huge thank you to Starry Nick, Beck, A17FFDP, The Anime Dude, Xavier Cahoon, Baby Ray, Thought Destroyer, Siren, Elf Queen Mab, McManga, Nothing But a Fan, Kana, Opinionated Slime, Steelers, and my highest current patron, Viva the Loser. And I want to apologize that for a while I was saying 2Spooky was my only sponsor, but a huge thank you to 2Spooky, A17FFDP again, and the Mexican dude. Thank you so much, everybody. But on that note, I will see you all next time, dudes. Shinpaku.